I got to talk. I got to tell what I feel. I got to talk about my life as I see it.
Biggie.
What's going on, people? I wanted to shoot another video in response to another comment that I had from a comment on a previous video. So this one subscriber asked if I would shoot a video on what it's like to work remote. So I figured I'd do that, shoot like a pros and cons video. I'm going to split it up into two. So this video will be about the top 5 things that I like about being able to work remotely. So let's get it started. Number one. Number one is going to be freedom of time. So what I really like about working remotely where I'm at now is that outside of a daily stand-up and every few days there's an extra meeting here or there, to a large regard, my time is the time that I choose to spend developing is totally up to me. So we are dispersed. So we agree to be online between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be available if someone needs to reach out to ask questions or anything like that. But as far as the times that we choose to develop, that's really not dictated. So if I'm a late night person, wanted to write code late at night, I could do that. If I have some type of event going on with my kids or something, if I need to drop them off at school or pick them up from school or anything like that, I can do that. If my lady has to work, like this past week, she worked a special event. I kept my 4-year-old at home one day, and I was able to do that. You know, if the last place I was at was also remote, but we pair programmed, so you couldn't just take off of time because you were working directly with another developer at all times. So I really like this place in that, you know, I'm solo, I do the work on my own, which has its pros and cons, but I'll talk about some of the cons of that in the next video about the top 5 things that can be a detriment to working remotely. But that's definitely a big one for me, is freedom of my time. Number 2, no commute. And that's a big one. When I worked for the startup here in town, I had to drive all the way to the other side of town every day during rush hour time. So I would spend about an hour each way going. So that's an extra 2 hours out of the day that was wasted, man. Well, not really wasted, because I'm a big advocate of utilizing all of your time effectively. So when I'm in the car, instead of, you know, bouncing, listening to music, I'm listening to a podcast or I'm listening to an audiobook about something that's going to better me or further my career or growth or financial education, financial literacy, something in those lines. So I'm listening to a programming podcast. Right now, I'm really big on multifamily residential investing, so apartment buildings and such. So I listen to a lot of multifamily investing podcasts and multifamily investing books or commercial real estate books and all the things of that sort. You know, is how I spend that time in the car. But still, that's 2 hours away from my family that I can't get back. So I don't have to do any commutes now. You know, I wake up out of bed about 10 feet away, literally. Walk right over here and get to work every day. And when I'm done, I just turn off the computer, you know, get out of my chair, and I'm done and good to go. So that's really a big bonus for me. Let's go. Number 3, controlled environment. So being able to control your environment can be huge. Everybody works differently and likes a different environment to be able to work in. Some people need it to be like library grade quiet for them to be able to concentrate and work. Other people like to listen to music and don't necessarily like to listen to music in their headphones all day long. They want to be able to play it out loud. When you're at home in your home office and you have your own space, you can do any of those things. You can have it that quiet. You can listen to your music as loudly as you want to, I guess. If you want to burn incense, you can burn incense. Whatever type of environment, you know, you like to have, you can have that. If you like toys and you like your mechanical keyboards and your crazy expensive monitors and all that stuff, you know, you can go hog crazy on that stuff and get it all. You don't have to worry about anybody borrowing anything off of your desk, without your permission when you're away or anything like that, or take a day off. Um, so you really get to control your environment, and be able to, code how you want to code. I like my multi-monitor setup and all of my stuff, just the way I like it, and that's what I have. I mean, my environment's very comfortable. I was able to get the chair I want. You might have noticed. I had this old beat up chair in the first few videos I shot on here, and I broke down and bought a ergonomic chair from Autonomous, the Autonomous Ergo chair. I think it wasn't no $900, $1,000 Herman Miller chair or anything like that. It was about $250. But man, that made a difference. It's got the lumbar support. Everything's adjustable on it for however you want. This headrest is something I really like because you can sit back, put your neck back, and it kind of cradles your neck and your head when you've been sitting. If you're gonna sit for 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. I know some of my subscribers are truck drivers. They understand that. When you're sitting for long periods of day, having a comfortable seat, man, that can make a big difference in your health and well-being. Just being able to sit that long, somewhere comfortable where you can adjust it to fit you just right. Throughout the day. So little things like that, you'll be able to do and not be stuck with whatever the office decides to give you, for a chair, furniture, your setup environment. So that's a big one for me. Number 4. So number 4 is freedom of location. So that's a big one. You might have heard another video I made talking about my buddy Ed, who literally travels the world. He's a remote developer, and anytime you check Facebook, you'll see his little dot, in the Ukraine or Russia, or he recently went down to Colombia and he's going to China and all this stuff. And as long as you have a good, reliable internet connection, you can work. So he used to take vacation time to do these trips, and I'm like, man, you're remote. As long as you account for your travel days when you get wherever you're going, you can work from there. Even if it's on the other side of the world, you're working at night because you're working on Chicago time, and then during the day, you can do some exploring and stuff. And it allowed him to be able to take longer trips, because when you're doing it on vacation time, you're trying to squeeze it in, 2 or 3 days here or whatever, at best like a week somewhere. But he'll go some places and, spend 2 weeks sometime, half a month, and really settle in and have time to get the lay of the land and really get to experience the place that he's in. Because of that, for me, I'm in a different situation now. I have a lady and kids and all of that, so I'm not traveling the world or anything like that, going to exotic places. But I do have the freedom. If I'm tired of sitting in this office, I can get up. I can go down to the corner Starbucks. Las Vegas has several different co-working facilities that you can go to. Some of them paid, some of them for free. You can just pop in, and there'll be other people there, other freelancers typically there that are working. And you get to have that kind of community for a day or so, if you just need to press the flesh and get out there and be around other people, take a day or two and do that. Some people switch it up. Some people work in a different location every day. Some people will take, 2 days out of the week or 1 day out of the week, and that's their out of office day where they'll go somewhere else and co-work or co-locate with other people that are remote, and be able to do that. So you have that freedom when you work remotely, Number 5. So number 5, I got to talk about the money a little bit. Number 5 is you have the ability to actually be able to earn a higher income than you could if you worked at a local facility. So I'll take my personal situation. I live in Las Vegas. The cost of living in Las Vegas is one of the cheapest of any major metropolitan center on the West Coast, I would say. So for an example, for a 1-bedroom apartment out here, you can still get that for about $800 a month. For a 1-bedroom apartment, if you try to get that in San Francisco, it's going to be about $2,500 a month. If you try to get that in Denver, where I was working at before, it's probably about $1,400 to $1,800 a month, depending on what part of town you're in. So just to keep that relative, So by me working in places like Denver, where the cost of living is higher, or Virginia and DC, where the cost of living is higher than here, I get paid salaries equivalent to what that local area pays. So I would get the equivalent of local Denver pay, even though I worked in Las Vegas. There is a flip side to that, in that now I've kind of exceeded a similar position here in Vegas would pay me probably 20,000 less, 20, sometimes 30,000 less than what I'm currently getting paid to do the same work. So I've kind of got myself on this, I don't want to say pedestal, but high plateau, to where, you know, if I were to go back and take a local gig, I'd have to look hard to find one that would even equal my pay or come close to it here in Vegas. But you know, I'll take that. I know that, and I like that. You know, I can do that. That I get paid above the going rate for a developer here in Vegas to do the same job. So yeah, I kind of know that you know, that's where I've positioned myself to be, and I'm cool with that. So not a big deal for me. And those are kind of my top 5, man. Being able to have some freedom of time, to not have a commute, to have a controlled environment, to have freedom of location, and to be able to earn a higher salary than you could locally. You know, especially if you're somewhere that's out in the Midwest or down south. You know, if I was in Mississippi making, you know, a $1.25, that would probably put me in the top 5% of income earners in the state, because Mississippi is the poorest state in the nation, statistically speaking. So yeah, I mean, that's it. You know, if I was in New York making a $1.25, that's nothing. You know, I'm broke. But it's all relative, you know. Yeah, so those are my top 5. I kind of dig those. I feel like there's more I want to say about them, but I'll keep it short and sweet, you know. Try to make a nice little 10-minute video or something like that. So if you got any questions about any of those top 5, post them below. What I really want to know is, what are your top 5 things that, even if you don't work remote, what are the top 5 things that you think would be awesome about being able to work remote from home? And if you do work remote from home, tell me what your top 5 is that you like. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.
Get this and please.
Daddy's shooting a video, baby, okay? So you gotta go back out there and close the door when I do this.
What kind of video are you doing?
I'm shooting a YouTube video.
YouTube video?
Yes. YouTube video.
Why are you doing a YouTube video?
So I can teach people about what Daddy does for work. Booski, I don't think this dress is supposed to go on this doll, does it?
No, the tiny little circle.
She's too big for her, baby. It's gonna break the dress. You need to take that off of her.
Yeah, I'm going to take it off in the left.
Okay, can you close the door back, please?
Okay.
All right, so where was I?